everyone. Welcome to Vols Society Live on this Thursday night. Yes, we're back for a second night in a row. My name is David Morrison. I am the Vols Society Analyst here on the Vols Society Network. And tonight, we're going to continue what we didn't really talk about this Wednesday, not too much, but we're going to continue throughout this long week we've had with everything going on at Tennessee, because baseball season is just around the corner at the University of Tennessee. This is the official 2022 Tennessee Volunteer Baseball Preview. We're going to break down Tony Vitello's ball club, and can Tennessee get back to Omaha for the second year in a row? Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/UT Vols Society. Don't forget to leave a comment in the chat room whether you're watching us on Facebook or on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and break down everything that's going on baseball related. We're going to look back at last year for a couple of minutes just to kind of recap, refresh our memories. And then we'll talk about who is coming back to this Tennessee ball club, who has went on, whether it's graduation or who has went on to the to Major League Baseball. Tony Vitello had a press conference yesterday. I'll kind of go over some of the notes that he mentioned, previewing the upcoming season. We'll break down our opponents for this year, kind of, or at least give a schedule breakdown. We will also talk about just the roster in general, who could be the future breakout stars at the University of Tennessee. Go ahead, and I also will talk about the top 25 college baseball poll. Just got to give everybody an idea where everybody stands at this moment. All right, so let's kind of recap last season. Tennessee had an outstanding season, a baseball season that nobody will ever forget. The Big Orange finished 50-18 on the year, 20-10 in SEC play. Like I said, Tennessee baseball really caught storm last year. Tony Vitello is a great personality at the University of Tennessee, a great baseball coach, knows the game very well. And, it took some time for Coach V to really get his team going, just trying to set the right people and the right players, obviously in the right positions, and produce the winning ways. And it finally all clicked together. We saw the emergence of guys like Drew Gilbert, Max Ferguson, Jordan Beck, and then the pitching staff with Blake Tidwell and Chad Big Cheese Dallas and Kirby Connell coming out of the bullpen. And like I said, this team has really been kind of catching fire the last couple of years. I mean, if you go back to 2020, Tennessee played in a baseball tournament in Houston. And I remember at the time, right before COVID shut everything down, Tennessee defeated the number one team in the nation at that time, Texas Tech. And I was thinking, wow, we got a ball club this year at Tennessee for baseball. And then world shut down in March of 2020. So we never got to see that finished result. But, 1 year later, in 2021, Tennessee came out just like they were last year and picked up some big wins. And to me, the big series that what I really noticed Tennessee was going to be a legit team was that Florida weekend series. Tennessee, I believe it's now 4 runs and came back and won. And I remember I believe it was Max Ferguson who had that blooper in the left field, and it kind of hung up there for 10 seconds and dropped down, and that drove in some runs. And Kirby Connell ended up picking up the save in that game. And then kind of fast forward, you had that huge weekend series with Vanderbilt when they were number 2 in the nation. You were taking on Connell Rocker and Jack Lafferty, the 2 big pitchers for Vandy. Hello to my grandparents who's tuned in. You had them 2 big pitchers that Tennessee faced. And, of course, you had Evan Russell's 4 home run game in that series. And then Arkansas came into town when they were number 1 in the nation, and that was the first time we had full capacity at Lindsey Nelson Stadium all year, and it was a huge weekend series. You had the walk-off winner by Max Ferguson in that one, And then, like I said, the wave of momentum carried into the playoffs. Going to the NCAA tournament, Tennessee defeated Wright State with the walk-off grand slam from Drew Gilbert on that Friday night, won it 9-8. And just, of course, that was our Vols Society moment of the year in our Vols Society Awards. Just an outstanding weekend. They ended up defeating Wright State, Duke, and Liberty in their NCAA regional tournament. And then for the first time in school history, we hosted a super regional, taking on an old SEC foe in LSU. And I remember that LSU series. That's when we kind of saw the Lindsey Nelson Legends, the Tennessee baseball student section, came aboard and kind of heckling the LSU baseball team. And I remember the LSU baseball manager at the time, well, he's still there, I guess. No, he retired. I'm sorry. The LSU baseball manager that just retired, I remember he kind of said some comments about, the fans are a little bit rowdy and stuff. But, Coach V was like, we want these rowdy fans. We want Lindsey Nelson Stadium to be a different atmosphere compared to a lot of SEC baseball stadiums. And we kind of took it as our own niche and became the quote-unquote villains. And we had the daddy hat after we hit a home run, the pink daddy hat, and came another gimmick. And like I said, we had that rematch series with LSU in the Super Regionals, and it was a fun weekend series. Had the watch party outside the stadium, and then went up defeating them, and then went on to Omaha for the first time in 15 years. And like I said, end up just be excited to be back at the College World Series. Unfortunately, didn't go our way. We ended up losing both of our College World Series games to Virginia and Texas, but it was a nice starting point for the Tennessee baseball team, and an outstanding season for Coach Vitello and the Tennessee baseball team. So we'll kind of break down the roster really quick. Go ahead and pull up the 2022 roster here. We'll talk about who is not with the team anymore. Like I said, either via graduation or end up being selected in the MLB draft. So not coming back to the team next year, Connor Pabloni, who was our catcher last year, one of the best catchers in the SEC, did a fantastic job for us. Like I said, he went on to the MLB draft, but I think we're going to be fine there, and we're about to talk about two players at Tennessee that's going to fill that void, including a big player for us last year that was in the infield that's going to be one of our catchers. Max Ferguson, Fergie Ferg, as we called him in Knoxville, not coming back. He was a big key factor for us, had some big moments. Wish him all the best. Jake Rucker, no longer with the team. Pete Durkee, our utility player, kind of Mr. Everything. Like I said, not coming back. Will Heflin, a big pitcher of us, not coming back. Jackson Greer, Big Cheese Chad Dallas. Although I wasn't a big fan of his at times last year, he had a really high ERA in the first inning, but after he got to the first, he was okay. And then Sean Huntley, another pitcher for Mount Juliet. So that's not who's coming back. Just kind of give an idea of some of those players that helped us to get to Omaha that are not coming back to the Tennessee baseball team, and we wish them all the best in the future. But let's talk about who is coming back. And we're starting with Drew Gilbert. Drew Gilbert, the home run hero in Game 1 of the NCAA tournament against Wright State, the walk-off grand slam. It's been back. I remember being trending all over YouTube and social media, the bat flip and everything. He is back. I'm excited to have Drew Gilbert back in the outfield. He can also pitch a little bit, and we'll kind of see what Tony Vitello does for Drew Gilbert going forward. Jorel Ortega played a little bit last year on the roster, an infielder. I expect him to get some more playing time, especially since we're about to talk about Evan Russell maybe going to be one of the two catchers for the Big Orange next year. Of course, he was a third baseman. I expect Ortega to possibly play third base, maybe shortstop in that area. Evan Russell. So Evan Russell, senior catcher and outfielder, going to be taking over Cotter Pabloni. I love this kid. He's kind of got a swagger attitude, but not real too cocky. Matter of fact, Tony Vitello says he was, a more humble kid than probably what he is on the field. He said he kind of has like a Bryce Harper style of play or style of attitude when he plays, and he meant it as a compliment. From Lexington, Tennessee, and like I said, he is one of my favorite players on this team, and I'm excited to see what Evan Russell can do. Christian Scott, a guy that came in pretty much throughout the NCAA tournament as a pinch runner, real speedster guy. Wouldn't shock me if he gets in the starting lineup, maybe lead off and try to get on there because, like I said, we need them stolen bases this year. Christian Scott is definitely that guy. He's 5'9", 175. He's a lefty. Excited to see what he can do. Some transfer. The first transfer we're going to talk about is Chase Dolander, sophomore right-handed pitcher from Georgia Southern, 6'3", 200 pounds. And Coach V talked about it in his press conference about, with Blade Tidwell going to be out at the beginning of the year, who he has seen emerge as some of the pitchers that may take that spot just for right now. And he really liked Chase Dolander. Like I said, he's got good command, good velocity with his pitches. So we'll see where he kind of fits into that until Tidwell comes back. Camden Soil, senior pitcher from Cleveland, Tennessee, just right down the road for me. He was mainly a relief pitcher last year, middle of the innings. I kind of expect him maybe possibly push for a starting spot. Once again, Coach V talked about that in the press conference. With Tidwell being out, he really likes Camden Soil and his command to pitches. What he can bring to the mound every night. So we'll see how he does. Some of the other ones, I heard Trey Lipscomb's name a little bit, senior infielder. We'll see if he can make it. Jordan Beck, another big player for our College World Series team last year, coming back for his junior year. Going to play in the outfield. Great outfielder. A lot of power in his bat. He's 6'3", 213. I'm excited to see what he can do also for this team. Mentioned Blade Tidwell. I should mention Jordan Beck was also named to multiple All-American teams this week, along with Blade Tidwell we're about to talk about. We mentioned already that Blade Tidwell is going to be out at the beginning of the season. Had some surgery in the offseason. No timetable for him to come back. It's going to be through the doctor's orders. And then Coach V says that he doesn't want him to rush coming back. He still needs to pass his eye evaluation test before he starts putting him on the mound. So that's why I mentioned, guys like Camden Soil and Dolander possibly taking that spot for right now until Tidwell comes back. And, I'm sure he definitely will be back by SEC play. Kirby Connell, if you remember, he's the pitcher that has a really awesome mustache. Coming back for his junior year from Blacksburg, South Carolina. I think he's probably going to be our closer again next year. I really like this kid. He's got great confidence on the mound. Like I said, he pitched in some big games for us, and expect to see the same from him. Luke Lippius at first base, number 40. He also looks about 40 years old too. 6'2", 215, real tall, lanky baseball player. Like I said, once again, he has good command with his swing. I really love how he swings the bat, and like I said, he's got some power in his bat. Probably more of a contact hitter, but Luke Lippius is definitely a nice addition to this team. Like I said, he's been with us, a long time. Brad just gave us an update on the Lady Vols game. Not looking good right now, 50-35 against Florida. Well, I mentioned that last night. That UConn game is on the horizon, but we can't look ahead to UConn. Got to take care of Florida, and unfortunately, didn't get my message so far. We shall see. But yeah, I mentioned Luke Lippius. Like I said, he's been with the team for a while, and like I said, good veteran to have on the field. And that's really kind of it as far as who's coming back. Can we see some of these players that didn't really get to play last year kind of emerge into the lineup? And Coach Vitello mentioned this in the press conference too, that these non-conference games at the beginning of the season is going to be kind of a lot of experimenting, finding out who's going to get in the lineup. So, don't be surprised. He even told his players, don't be surprised if you don't see your name in the lineup. It's not a punishment or anything. It's just trying to find that good nucleus of this baseball team. So, and maybe as a viewer too, although I'm kind of surprised we haven't had a TV schedule release yet. Even as a viewer, be like, wait, why is Jordan Beck not playing or Drew Gilbert not playing? Well, it's just trying to figure that good nucleus out. And you'll see them in these SEC games. It's just kind of an experiment throughout these non-conference games. And the way college baseball is set up is somewhat similar to college basketball. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, you get a lot of non-conference games, maybe some teams that you're more superior to beat. And then right around March into April is when you get into SEC play. And instead of playing SEC games every night, basically once you get into SEC play, your week schedule is like this. You have a non-conference game, usually like on a Tuesday night or Wednesday night, and you may play a big opponent along the way, or most of the time you probably play an in-state opponent. I know Tennessee likes to play schools like Tennessee Tech and East Tennessee State, UT Martin, and every once in a while they'll go to their campus and play them out there instead of just them coming to Knoxville because we have a bigger stadium and all that. So that's kind of cool about college baseball. And then the weekend series, the Friday through Sunday, sometimes you may have a Thursday through Saturday series, is an SEC weekend series. So similar to Major League Baseball, like say the Braves have a weekend series with the Mets Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Same thing with college baseball or your favorite minor league team, although they play a 5-game series. So it's exciting, especially them weekend series. And we're definitely going to break down these weekend series when we roll along with Vol Society Live. Like I said, and especially I'm about to read this top 25. There are a lot of SEC teams in there. Matter of fact, over half of the SEC teams are in the top 25. So that's kind of a look at the roster. Let's go back to the schedule really quick to talk about who we're going to be facing throughout the season. So Tennessee opens their baseball season on February the 18th, which is 15 days away, and they'll take on a team they faced last year to begin the season. Miss K says, I'm glad Pat Summit can't see these 20 points behind. Yeah, that's what I heard as I was kind of preparing for this tonight. Anyway, so Tennessee opens their season February the 18th against Georgia Southern. Last year, we played at Georgia Southern to begin the baseball season. This year, they come to Lindsey Nelson Stadium. A weekend series. First game Friday, February the 18th at 4:30 p.m., so a matinee game to start out. And then the next day, a 3 o'clock first pitch, and then Sunday at 1 o'clock against Georgia Southern. Then they'll take on Tennessee Tech and Knoxville on February the 22nd. And then UNC Asheville comes to Knoxville the next day. And then that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that next weekend, they take on Iona. And then a game with ETSU on March the 1st. March the 4th, 5th, and 6th, Tennessee will participate in the Shriners Hospital for Children's College Classic at Minute Maid Park in Houston. Tennessee played in this tournament, as I mentioned, a couple of years ago. They defeated Texas Tech and ended up winning that. Actually, I'll take that back. It wasn't in Houston. It was in Round Rock, Texas, because I forgot I had family down there in Round Rock. So that's on me. I messed that one up. They won the tournament in Round Rock, and I remember they beat Texas Tech, who was number one team in the nation. This year, they're in Houston for the Shriners College Classic. Okay, this game makes me sick. I can't watch Unbelievable. I'm sober. All righty. So anyways, so they are taking on Texas Friday night, March the 4th at 8 o'clock. And then they take on Baylor the next day, and then Oklahoma on that Sunday afternoon. So, like I said, building kind of a resume with college baseball, similar to college basketball. We want to get these big wins over these big schools. These are three good baseball schools. Like I said, Texas is the team that knocked us out of the College World Series last year, and they are preseason number one on the year. So, and definitely get some revenge on our mind. And then just continuing the non-conference series with James Madison, Rhode Island, and Eastern Kentucky. So our SEC opener, March the 18th, against South Carolina. And that is at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. The Gamecocks have kind of slipped in college baseball a little bit. They were a premier program. Matter of fact, won a national championship just a few years ago. But they have kind of slipped a little bit, but still a weekend series that Tennessee needs to take. So, like I said, I can't wait to see the Lindsey Nelson Legends come back out there and even just the crowd in general. I think that's going to be a huge weekend series for that one. They take on Butler that Tuesday night, and then first road game, our first SEC road series at Ole Miss, another top 5 program Tennessee will face, and that's at Swayze Field in Oxford. Come back home, take on Western Carolina, and then go to Nashville to take on another top 5 program in Vanderbilt. That is the weekend of April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Then they come back home to take on Lipscomb, and then our second weekend home series with an SEC school against Missouri. Missouri's not really a good baseball program. Matter of fact, they finished last in the SEC East. And for those who may not be familiar, SEC baseball takes the same format as SEC football. You have the East Division and the West Division. And the way they do the SEC tournament is kind of how the old SEC basketball tournament used to be. You had East 1 versus West 4, West 2 versus East 4, kind of that format. So, and of course they do like double eliminations also. So Missouri is one of the bottom teams in the SEC as far as baseball goes. And then Tennessee will play Tennessee Tech at Smoky Stadium in Kodak, Tennessee, home of the Tennessee Smokies, AA affiliate of the Chicago Cubs. That's on April the 12th at 6:30 p.m. And then a huge weekend series, and I can't wait for this one. Alabama. So Alabama, like I said, obviously a rival game for us. That's going to be a huge weekend series. They're Friday. It's a Friday night, Saturday night affair on April 15th and 16th, and that may be the same weekend as the orange and white game. Now, granted, we don't know if the orange and white game is going to be played at Neyland Stadium because of the construction, but I'm sure Tennessee usually has like huge sports weekend where they have the baseball team at home, softball, tennis, track and field. They try to put everybody at home that weekend to, really show Tennessee sports out. And then the next weekend, so there's no midweek game after that. Tennessee takes on Florida in Gainesville on the 22nd through the 24th. Taking on Xavier on that Tuesday night. And then a weekend series with Auburn. Auburn, kind of like Missouri, is not that great in baseball. Although they were good a few years ago. They had a super regional with Florida. But they've kind of slipped in recent years. I guess more like a South Carolina than a Mizzou. And then they go to Kentucky, get Alabama A&M, and then Kentucky. Kentucky, kind of similar to Mizzou, not the best in baseball also. So Tennessee should hopefully have a pretty easy weekend. Huge weekend. And then Bellarmine, I can't pronounce that team, on May the 10th. May 12th through the 14th, they take on Georgia at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Another huge weekend series. Another team that's in the preseason top 25, despite not making the NCAA tournament last year. So a lot of hype on this Georgia team. Like I said, Georgia has been to Omaha before, played in, I think the last time they were in the national championship game was in 2008 where they lost to Fresno State, but still a good baseball program there. and then Belmont, and then we wrap up the SEC season May the 19th to the 21st against the defending national champion Mississippi State Bulldogs in Starkville. This is like I said, this is a pretty gauntlet SEC schedule for the most part. There are some winnable games. We don't get to play Arkansas unless we meet them in Mobile, or is it Mobile or no? Hoover. I'm sorry, that's where the SEC tournament's at. In Hoover. So, like I said, we avoid Arkansas, but we still get the two Mississippi schools, and Alabama and Auburn and Georgia, and of course we always play Vandy, Kentucky every year. So I'm excited about this team. I think there's some optimism. You still got a lot of players from last year coming back. The pitching staff should be good. The key thing is when Blade Tidwell comes back, have our ace pitcher going. And like I said, just continue to ride the wave of momentum and just see some new players emerge and kind of go on from there. So pull my notes back out here again. College baseball top 25, just to kind of give you a real quick look at how the college baseball landscape works. So I'm taking this from D1 Baseball, which is the poll that the NCAA uses. So the number one team in the nation in the preseason is Texas, and then follow up by four straight SEC teams: Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. SEC baseball is like SEC football. It's going to be a gauntlet every game. Stanford comes in at number 6, Oklahoma State number 7, another SEC team, and LSU at number 8. Florida comes in at number 9. So there you go. There's your 6 teams in the top 10 in the college baseball poll. NC State comes in at number 10. NC State had a great NCAA tournament last year. May not have been familiar. NC State played in the Louisiana Tech Regional and defeated Louisiana Tech. And Louisiana Tech is a good baseball program. Just, even though they're from Conference USA, that doesn't mean that they're not a superior conference. They're good. But NC State defeated Louisiana Tech in the regional and then went to Arkansas to take on the number 1 overall seed, the Razorbacks, and defeated Arkansas on their home field and end up going to Omaha. So a lot of hype for this NC State team. Florida State comes in at number 11. East Carolina at number 12, another team that's always in the college baseball top 25 poll. Notre Dame comes in at 13. Texas Tech 14. Arizona 15. Georgia is at 16. We mentioned didn't even make the NCAA tournament last year, but they've got a lot of guys coming back and expecting some big things from them. TCU at 17, Oregon State 18, Tennessee at 19. And we'll talk about where Tennessee kind of lies in as far as the preseason polls go. UC Irvine, a pretty superior team from the West Coast, comes in at number 20, Georgia Tech at 21st. Dallas Baptist University at number 22, team that made it to Omaha last year, and expect to see them probably go back again this year. Like I said, at 22. Duke is at 23, a team that we met in the NCAA tournament in the Knoxville Regional last year. A team that we see every year in March Madness, Long Beach State at number 24. And then the Miami Hurricanes comes in at 25. So there are 8 teams from the SEC in this top 25 poll. As I mentioned, 6 in the top 10, and then Georgia and Tennessee in the top 20. So, like I said, SEC baseball is just like football. Like I said, kind of some other news and notes. As far as the preseason polls go, Tennessee, number 16 in the National College Baseball Writers Association poll, number 17 in Baseball America, 19 in the D1 baseball poll, which I just read, and number 21 in Perfect Game. Mentioned Blade Tidwell and Jordan Beck named to multiple All-American teams, so expect a lot of hype for these guys coming in next year. Like we already mentioned, Tidwell going to be out at the beginning of the season, but Jordan Beck will be ready. So that's just kind of a quick preview of SEC of the Tennessee baseball team. Like I said, this team really ignited the fan base, and we mentioned this on several shows. Kind of tying it in more with football and with what Dr. Danny White has brought. Tennessee athletics was basically in the dumps. Football was uncertainty. Basketball was inconsistent, and like I said, the Tennessee baseball team ignited the fan base and brought excitement to Knoxville. And the jokes was, oh, we're now a baseball school now. And obviously, I'm happy to be and it was almost like an insult, but I'm happy that we're a baseball school. I want us to be a school in all the sports and be well. And right now, maybe not so much in women's basketball with this latest update, but we shall see. But like I said, I just remember that spring into summer was just so enjoyable. And you may tune into a Tennessee baseball game from time to time, and there may be not even 1,000 fans there, and they're kind of just sitting on their hands. And then you saw, like, I remember that Florida, the LSU series, the first time we faced LSU in Florida, and then Vandy and Arkansas, the fan base was really getting excited and coming out. And, of course, having full capacity back on campus. And then the NCAA tournament was so much fun. That Wright State game on that Friday night with the Drew Gilbert walk-off homer and the LSU series. And like I said, just ignited Tennessee athletics. And I really do believe that what spawned it into football and a little bit into basketball. And Danny White is really bringing the right coaches in and extending. Like I said, last year we didn't even know if Tony Vitello was going to even come back. He was rumored for the LSU job and the Oregon State job. And we were like, pay the man, pay him. And we did. And we're going to be greatly rewarded for it. And I'm excited about it. Just that you could definitely tell the players, you can definitely tell Coach V's personality rubs off on the players, and they produce results. Well, same thing with football with Josh Heupel. And I'm excited to see what this baseball season is going to look. I'm just excited for warmer weather about to approach this. Right now it's 60 outside, but it's raining cats and dogs and cold weather and snow. I'm ready for it to get out of here. I'm more of a spring, summer person. I've never been a cold weather person personally. I do like the fall, but yeah, I enjoy it. I'm excited to see some college baseball and get ready to hear the metal bats clanking again, and just the enjoyment of the game. And I really truly believe we're going to have a great baseball season. I think we have a good shot of making it back to Omaha. Just depends on how everything kind of plays out. I think, like I said, you're gonna face some fierce competitions throughout the season with Vanderbilt and of course the two Mississippi schools. But like I said, last year we won the SEC East when Vanderbilt kind of collapsed towards the end. I think us and Vanderbilt are right there in the thick of things in the SEC East, and then I would love for us to at least win an SEC tournament. But it's gonna be a gauntlet, like I said, with Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and then we mentioned Florida. The thing should be a lot of fun. There's a bot that popped in here, and thank you for tuning in. Yeah, please, if you're on the stream, please do not send bots or fake links. That's kind of my plea. You will be escorted out. So I don't expect that from anybody, but the internet will bring in some fake people. So be careful with that, especially if you're on our Facebook page and you see maybe a link to, hey, watch the game here. Do not click on it. It is a virus. So, and we have it sometimes in our chat room. So, that's a little PSA from the Vols Society Network. So, all right. So that's going to wrap it up as far as our baseball preview goes. Like I said, just around the corner, 15 days away. Of course, Pawtuski Phil said there's 6 more weeks of winter, but we're going to stay optimism and say baseball season is here. So that's going to wrap it up for this Thursday night edition of All Society Live, the baseball preview. We'll talk about the baseball team throughout the season, and we'll give you updates on our Vol Society Facebook page. Hopefully the Lady Vols can somehow sneak a win out. It's not looking good right now, but we shall see. Thanks for once again tuning in. My name is David Morrison. Have a great night. We'll talk to y'all next Wednesday night for our regular Vols Society live show at 8 p.m. Until then, have a great night and go Vols.